What's up guys, Kasey here back with another First Impressions. Today we have Bond number 9 FiDi. This is the newest release from the house of Bond number 9. They actually are a New York based fragrance house, so which is why they have these wonderful New York based fragrances. This one is Financial District, or also referred to as FiDi, as you can see. It's meant to be kind of a fresh, aromatic, clean-cut, suited businessman kind of fragrance, and I can definitely see that from just getting a whiff of this wonderful tester. And as you can see, this is a tester since the fragrance is pretty expensive, and I've only been able to get my hands on this wonderful tester thanks to the guys at Max Aroma. They were able to allow me to try this out for this wonderful First Impressions. So without further ado, we're gonna spray once, get the spritzer full, and spray it onto my wrist. And right off the bat, you can definitely smell those fresh spicy notes. I'm smelling that black pepper mixed with the bergamot and the mandarin orange. It's a wonderful opening, though it seems to be a little fleeting in terms of the scent strength. It really has a very strong opening, but it also seems like that opening, it fades just because right when it sticks to your skin, it doesn't seem to be very strong. And that seems to be a very recurring problem with Bond number 9 fragrances, is that they are kind of fleeting. They don't really last too long. And from what I've heard from most people, they either get very good performance from Bond number 9s or they get mediocre performance from Bond number 9s. So I'm wondering if this fragrance will be able to last long enough in regards to being a new release, and if they really learned from customer feedback, and if they heard the customers' expectations, to really adjust their formulation on their fragrances. Now in regards to the notes, like I said, what I was mainly getting on the top notes were the bergamot, the mandarin orange, and the black pepper. The mid notes are meant to have lotus and nutmeg, though I have yet to smell that. It has been about 15 to 20 seconds that the fragrance has sat on my wrist, and I'm still waiting for those notes to kind of pop up. The base notes have cedar, vanilla, and musk. So that vanilla and musk is going to be an interesting turnout with the cedar and the whole ensemble, just because this kind of feels more as a spring and summer fragrance. So I'm expecting this to be a little interesting with the way it develops throughout the heat and while it just sits on my wrist. Now in regards to longevity, like I said, just because Bond number 9 is kind of iffy with their longevity, I'm expecting maybe 4 to 6 hours with this fragrance. Now depending on what climate you live in and where you live in New York, maybe you're going to get 4 to 5 hours. In Texas, you might get somewhere around 6 to 7, just because the heat is so high, and actively developing the fragrance and making it active so you can get the smell and whiffs of it. Now in terms of projection, I can expect about 1 to 2 feet of projection from this fragrance, just because it doesn't seem to be that potent in your face, kind of like Dior Sauvage or Chanel or any of those fragrances that you may be familiar with in terms of their openings and their projection. However, it is a nice bubble that you can expect. So 1 to 2 feet is definitely something that you can expect from this fragrance, just because as I whiff around my hand and I move it around, I get whiffs of it, I get some hints of the fragrance. So it's not super potent, but you're gonna get some projection from it. Now in regards to recommended setting, work environment, maybe not super client facing. If you're in a very client facing environment, then you want to be a little conservative with this sprayer, because it can be overwhelming if you overspray this fragrance. But if you are in any kind of regular work environment, this can definitely work out. Casual setting, bars, nightclubs, nightlife, any kind of setting that you would want to wear this can definitely be worn, just because it's such a versatile fragrance and the notes and everything are pretty people pleasing. So it's not something too crazy bold for you to be able to rock. Now, as I mentioned, in terms of seasonality, just because this fragrance has those fresh notes, those more summer and spring notes, this is definitely going to be suited for those climates. However, if you do have a warmer fall climate, I can definitely see this being used in fall climate as well. Say in Texas fall time, we have the climate you know, the weather kind of hits 70 degrees during September, October sometimes. It ranges around 60s and 50s. So California also is a very good example of where this fragrance can be worn in the fall time as well. And overall, I feel like this fragrance is a nice fragrance to have in your collection. Would I personally buy this as a full bottle? Probably not. I would purchase the tester though, just to have in my collection, just because the fragrance is so fresh and has this nice approach to kind of a businessman approach really to the fragrance, where you feel sharp, you feel powerful, and you feel like you belong in, you know, Wall Street or financial district. And so I really get that feeling they're trying to give out for this fragrance. I definitely get that vibe and aesthetic to it. So I definitely think the tester is worth purchasing, but the full bottle, that's up for you to decide if FiDi from Bond Number 9 is worth that investment. That's all that we have for this wonderful first impressions. Thanks for watching. Make sure to smash that like button if you liked this video. This is a very new release. I'm so excited to be able to try this out as a first impressions while I'm in New York. If you like these kind of videos, you know, these first impressions of super new releases, or first impressions just overall, to get that, you know, initial thoughts on a fragrance, make sure to let me know in the comment section below and smash the like button. That definitely helps me out as well. Thanks once again for watching. This is Kasey signing off. Make sure to subscribe for more first impressions coming up.